Let me tell you something. When you don't have standards for your life, people will walk all over you. And you probably have experienced that, which is why you're watching this video. And I used to be the exact same way. I didn't have standards, I didn't have boundaries. I was definitely a certified people pleaser in my 20s. I'm 35 years old now. And it's tough, right? Because you're trying to decide whether or not you should be a nice person versus standing up for yourself. And a lot of times you'll end up being the nice person to keep the peace and to get everybody to like you, failing to realize that the only thing you're doing is creating a burden within your spirit, right? Because you're agreeing to things that you don't necessarily want to do. You don't like the way people are treating you, but you don't have a backbone and you don't stand up for yourself. And it makes you feel used and abused. It makes you feel unappreciated. And it also builds up this quiet resentment. And over time, that resentment gets louder and louder and louder. But what if I told you that you're doing that to yourself? See, every day we get a choice. And I know this is the uncomfortable truth, but it is true. Every single day you get a choice. You get to decide, do you want to be the version of you that's unhappy, the version of you that's always doing for others, the version of you that lets people walk all over you? Or do you want to be that high value woman that you have been trying to manifest for years? Meaning you want to be the woman who has standards and boundaries, who knows how to tell people no, who doesn't tolerate disrespect, who doesn't allow people to use and abuse her. If you want to be that version, the latter version that I just described, well, then that's going to require you to change who you are today. Because who you are today isn't that. You keep telling yourself that you don't like the way someone treats you, but yet you refuse to walk away. You've already told someone time and time again that you don't like certain behaviors, but you keep allowing them to do it. So the question now is, what are you going to do about it? See, you have the information that you need, okay? People always show you who they are. That's information, right? And you've been gathering this information for months, maybe even years, maybe even in your entire life. People have shown you time and time and time again who they are. They've shown you which boundaries or lack of boundaries they're willing to cross in order to get what they want. Maybe they've continued to ask you for things. They continue to mistreat you. Maybe they call you out your name. Maybe they curse you out when they don't get their way. They've exhibited this behavior multiple times. This isn't new. But because you lack standards and because you lack boundaries, you keep tolerating it. You have all the information that you need. The question is, well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to continue to allow someone to treat you that way? Or are you going to make the choice to change? You're going to make the choice to cut them off. Because the longer you hold on to these relationship dynamics that are not serving you, okay, because if these people were genuinely good people for you, I'm not saying they're not good people in general, I'm saying good people for you. If these people were good people for you, well, you wouldn't feel like you're being mistreated. You wouldn't feel like you're being taken advantage of. You wouldn't feel like you're being disrespected. But you feel that way because they keep doing things that you're not standing up for. So how much longer are you going to allow it? How much longer are you going to sacrifice the peace within for the peace of them? Listen, I've done it. So I know exactly how it feels. It's not fun. It's toxic. It's draining. It makes you start to question your self-worth. Like, why do they think I'm only worthy of being cursed out? Why are they only my friend when I tell them yes, but the minute I tell them no, now they want to give me the silent treatment. Now they want to be passive aggressive. Now they want to call me outside of my name. Why is that? Because that's just who they are. That's why. And you can't change them. You cannot change people. And the unfortunate truth is most people don't change. I know sometimes we can get lost in trying to get people to see things from our perspective. You think, well, maybe if I just explain it a different way, maybe if I express myself just a little bit differently, maybe if I use some new vocabulary words, they'll finally get it. It doesn't matter how many times you explain it to them. You've already explained it to them. If you're anything like me, you've explained it to them multiple times, not just once, but multiple times, right? You've already expressed how their behaviors or their actions make you feel, and they still make the choice to disrespect that. But because you don't have boundaries and standards, you tolerate it, you allow it, and then you get on YouTube and you watch videos like this. What if I told you life would be so much easier? Your mental clarity would be so much clearer if you just cut people off. I promise you this, there's a world of people out here who will treat you with respect. There are people out here who will pour into you, who will respect your boundaries. They won't stonewall you if you tell them no. They won't be passive aggressive. They won't call you outside of your name. There are people out here in this world who will love you, but you'll never meet those people if you keep tolerating people who have shown you time and time again that they're not that. Sometimes we let time be the indicator of whether or not we leave. We'll convince ourselves, well, they've been my friend for 20 years, so I'm not going to cut off this friendship. But the friendship that you're holding on to is draining you. It's not making you feel good. If anything, it's stealing your energy from things that you could be pouring into to better yourself. Just imagine if your headspace was clear and you weren't feeling drained by someone. Well, you would be on YouTube watching videos on how to build your business or how to lose that weight or how to save money or how to buy a house. Or there's probably some type of goal that you have for your life that you would love to achieve. But these people that are treating you poorly are taking up all this headspace. And you can't even focus on the thing that means so much to you, that's dear to your heart, because you're so focused on how these people are treating you. The energy that you give to these people is energy that you could be putting into yourself and making yourself better, putting yourself in a better situation, a better life. They've already proven to you who they are. You're not confused. You are not confused. You're just avoiding the thing that may feel hard right now, but I promise you it will give you an easier life. Life is so much easier when you don't have people disrespecting you. Life is so much easier, so much more peaceful when you don't have people who make you feel less than. But it starts with you. You have to make a decision, okay? I'm not going to let people cross my boundaries anymore. I'm going to have enough self-respect and self-love to stand 10 toes down. I've already told this person how their actions make me feel. They continue to ignore it. Well, now I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take a different path. I'm going to remove myself from this because I know that I'm worthy of more. I know that I'm worthy of better. And I know that there's a huge group of people out there who will meet me where I'm at, who will have no problem with my boundaries. It starts with you. And I think sometimes too, at least for myself, we stay in situations longer than we should because we're afraid of being alone. And we have a lack mentality. We think that this is the only friend I'll ever be able to make, or this is the only boyfriend or husband that I'll be able to have. And that's not true. That's not true. That's a lack mindset. If you were able to manifest them, you can manifest anybody, to be honest. But it starts with you. The people who will treat you right, they have boundaries and they have standards for their life. So you're going to have to develop those boundaries and standards for your life so that you can attract those type of people. See, a lot of times we attract what we are. That's the truth. Because if you were a woman who was high value, well, at the first sign of disrespect or at the first sign of entitlement or whatever it is that they're doing, you would have cut that off. you wouldn't have waited around to see if they were going to change because you already know that they're not. So that relationship dynamic, it just shows you where you are too, which means you have a lot more inner work to do because you haven't created boundaries and standards for your life. And once you do, and once you stand 10 toes down, you will then attract people who can meet you where you're at, who will not use and abuse you, who will not call you out your name because you tell them no, who will not make you feel less than, who will not make you feel like you're asking for too much. They'll meet you exactly where you are. I think that the boundaries that we have for our life, or lack thereof, can either allow us to have a beautiful life, a fruitful life, or a very depressing life. You'll be surprised at how the wrong group of friends can destroy that light within you. I've experienced it. That's how I know. You could just be this charismatic woman, this ambitious woman, this positive woman, but you're surrounded by a whole bunch of negative people. And over time, that light, that charisma, that ambition, that beauty within you will slowly start to fade because you're around people who are stealing that from you. And the next thing you know, you wake up and you don't even recognize the woman looking at you in the mirror. You don't even recognize your own reflection because you've lost yourself, because you've stayed in places for way too long. You've stayed around people for way too long and you didn't remove yourself at the very first sign. But that very same woman, if she's surrounded by the right people, will pour into her, will fuel her, will hype her up, who will push her past, the limitations that she had on herself. So you got to ask yourself, what kind of life do you want? And I can't answer that for you. I know for myself, I want a life where, I'm around people who pour into me, who don't take from me. I want to be around people who can motivate me just like I can motivate them, who can push me past my limits just like I can push them past theirs. I want reciprocity in my life. I want a group of women or a woman, a friend who, you can set your standards and your boundaries and they don't treat you differently. They respect them. They may not agree, but they respect, right? But it all starts with you. It all starts with you. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to read what you have to say. Also, you guys make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And do not forget to join the Patreon. The link is down below in my description. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.